morning, guys. It's Vanessa from Burning Love Candles. I tried to record this earlier, and when I watched it, my dog was licking the entire time, and I know that it would drive you insane. And my chickens need to go outside, so they're freaking out. But I'm going to try another daily vlog. This is one of those, I would love your feedback because I'm at a place where I'm really, really struggling. I've sold a ton of my pottery. But this candle stuff is no joke, y'all. Like, I mean, definitely making pottery and selling it makes me feel more vulnerable because I'm having people reach out to me on the internet or people that I know, and they're like, this is the idea that I have for this person. Can you make it? And I have to materialize their dream, their idea into a thing. So that's different than I want the scent of a candle with a label that says Happy Birthday Mary on it, right? Okay. It makes me feel very vulnerable because I'm throwing the vessel, I'm trimming the vessel, I'm making the handle, I'm doing the decorating, the glaze. Like, there's so many opportunities for things to mess up, and nobody's ever had a complaint about anything they've purchased from me. And that's great. But I'm really struggling with this candle stuff, guys. Like, let me know if you guys struggle too. I'm having a hard time settling on my label design. It's changed a million times. I go from thinking that, I want to have quirky, meaningful names for all my candles to really doing a deep dive on Etsy and realizing that it makes more sense to me to just put a name that relates to the fragrance so that people can just glance and know that's a birch and black pepper candle instead of like, oh, that's called Pillow Talk. What is that? Like, that could be anything, right? And if I go to farmer's market, I want people to walk by and take a glance and be like, oh, that's a sea and sunflower candle. Oh, that's a birch and black pepper candle. Oh, that's a frankincense and patchouli candle. And kind of know right away whether they want to smell it or not. And I'm going to make these little descriptions of, it'll say, this is an, alluring blend of toenail clippings and toe jam and earwax and whatnot. And it'll make your house smell amazing. And so I feel like I spent 8 hours yesterday on labels and figuring out what in the hell I want to call my candles. And I'm really struggling. Like, I went from, initially wanting to name my candles things that are meaningful to my region. I want to name my candles what they smell like because duh, that makes more sense, but not the name on the freaking jar of the fragrance oil because I don't like doing that. And just make a freaking decision, right? Because it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. And so, but it does it. Let me guys know if you guys struggle with this. Like, I'm really struggling and I don't know what to do. Like, I'm so indecisive. And then if I use my own vessels for candles, like, there's not going to be labels on them. So what the hell am I supposed to do? I'm going to have to put all the information on the bottom and, the warning label and my label with my information that you have to have by law, like your business name, the size of the candle, where it was made. I usually only do 1 pour over and then switch to tea, but today is a 2 pour over day. I will check in later. I'll try to I might be making some candles later, but I'll try to make this entertaining. I'll tell you later. I'm making another coffee. This is ridiculous. And I look like shit. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. And if people care, I don't care. I have like those eyes from like having a meltdown last night. Those like when you wake up in the morning, you just look like ass because you cried for like 45 minutes and my eyes feel like shit because I cried for 45 minutes. Like, I just had a freaking... Guys, help. Let's see if I can have a better aim. This is going to be horrible. I got to look at the actual thing. I don't care if I'm doing this wrong. My husband doesn't like the way I do this. I don't care. Oh, and then I went on a tangent multiple times about how I don't care if it's oud wood or ode wood, and I looked it up anyways because secretly I did care, and it's oud. But the lady who... Wait. Can you hear my stomach grumbling? Yeah, it's oud wood, but the lady on like the description or whatever, the dictionary website, is like... She's like... oot. And then you push the button again. She's like, oot. It's like, it's not a T, like computer lady. Anyways, isn't this really enthralling? This is so exciting for you guys. You're probably like, I have better things to do than watch this moron with chameleon eyes make a pour over. Hi guys, so if you want to make a pour over, you grind up some beans, you pour water, and then it looks like you put poop on a plate on a scale, and then you put it in a mug. It's really good. This is my little kiln. You can kind of see right here, that's where it is in the fire, and then it goes all the way up to here. It has 8 hours and 41 minutes left, so it's propped open. This gives it a chance for all the moisture to come out of the clay. I leave it propped open until it's about 800 degrees, and it really prevents my pieces from exploding in there. Any water in the clay, it will kind of boil inside the walls of the clay, and it will cause it to explode. So if I leave this propped open until it's 800 degrees, then that doesn't happen. I'm going to let my chickens out. I will talk to you later. Bye. Putting the chickens out. Yeah, you guys destroyed your little crate. So that's Mayfield and Little. And then this is Rusty and Patty. Yep, I know. You're the boss. I see you. You're the boss. They're destroyed. I've got to take their chips, redo the chips, put them outside, give them some... Hi! Isn't he handsome? Hi. This is Little. Hi. Her name's Magpie. She's my little baby. Sometimes she talks to me. She's a sweet girl. She just breathes like an old lady. Hi. I love you. Or like she'll make these like grumbles because she's just an old fart. I love you so much. You guys know that I feel that if you make a scent blend, then that sets you apart and people need to come to you to get another one. Yeah, how are you guys picking your fragrances? And also, I'm representing Squirmy and Grubs today. I want to tell you about their channel. Everybody needs a little bit of happiness right now. They are freaking hilarious. They're an interabled couple who make it more normalized that there are people who have disabilities that are in relationships with people who don't have disabilities. It kind of bugs me when you follow someone on Instagram and they send you this big long paragraph of like promoting their business. I had people like 5 or 6 new follows today on Instagram. So I went and followed people back. And then I get this, like, I didn't even check out to see if what they sell or whatever. I was just reciprocating the support for a small business and just got this friggin' like direct message. Don't do that. It's so freaking annoying. Does anyone else have this like collection of garbage? Well, I mean, they're not all garbage. What do you guys do? Like, do you guys take the time to scoop the wax out and use the containers over again? Hi, I'm keeping it real today. Do you ever just have somebody be really nice and you really appreciate it when you're struggling and it makes you cry? Having my protein shake. I'm crooked today. It's okay. I don't care. I'm crooked every freaking day. A quick story time before I run my errand. I was just thinking about the fact that I know that a lot of people have started going to therapy during this time of COVID. And in this time, I also had to sell my parents' house, which was my childhood house that I lived in from 1980 and grew up there. And my parents both passed away in that house, not at the same time. And 2.5 years after my mom died, I finally sold the house. And it was really, really difficult. I'm fine now, but it was so, so difficult. And so I'm pissed because I had a therapist since 2011, the beginning of 2011. So almost 10 years, I had the same therapist. And over the course of the 10 years that I went there, I dealt with significant life things and some past stuff. And during the whole process, you know, when you go to therapy, you're not in a very strong spot. And so over the course of that decade, I dealt with a lot of things. I became a different person. I'm very strong and I survive. Like, I will not ever label myself as a victim to anything, because that pisses me off. Like, people that play the victim, like, no, you take control of that situation, girl. My therapist would forget me, would be late. She had this office when I started seeing her that was in this big old office building, and her waiting room would be locked. I'd be waiting out in the hallway, and so people would be walking by me as I'm standing out in the hallway outside of my counselor. It's like, it's nobody's friggin' business if I'm going to counseling. There were times when, like, I really needed my appointment, and she would stand me up. But she always had some excuse that she wasn't good with managing her time, and she would try harder next time. And so I literally let her get away with that for 10 years. And finally, in February of last year, I had an appointment with her at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. And I went to the pottery studios before I had my kiln and my wheel set up the way that it is, and planned my day around packing that stuff up, leaving, getting to my appointment, having my appointment, you know. So she messaged me when I was leaving. I had already packed up all my stuff and I was getting ready to leave. And she messages me, can we move your appointment a half hour later? And I was like, whatever, but you better be there. And I just had this feeling that I had reached my limit with her bullshit. And most of the time she just wouldn't show up. It's not that she wouldn't even message me and be like, hey, I'm going to be late. She would just not show up. And then I would message her like 10 minutes after my appointment was supposed to start. And she'd be leaving her house, which was 5 minutes away. And then it would take her another 20 minutes to get there. And so this one particular time she messaged me and I'm like, that's fine. I'll wait a half an hour, but you better be there. And she's like, oh, I will. So I farted around. I drove around. I got there. I sat there and she didn't show up. She was like 4 minutes late and I left and I have not been back. I'm like, you know what? She goes, I'm here. It was like 10 after, whatever, 15 after. And I was like, yeah, well, I left. You weren't there. And she's like, I see that. Don't try to make it my fault that you gave me a place to work through my shit and become a strong person with good boundaries, and then bitch because I'm a strong person with good boundaries and I've set a boundary with you for standing me up and messing around and acting like your time is more valuable than mine. So that's my therapy story. I'm resentful because this was a year where I could have used, or in the last 12 months, I could have used my therapist. And I don't feel like finding somebody new right now and like starting from scratch. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't apply anymore that I've already processed. But like, do not make it my issue that I cut your ass off after you left me standing out in your hallway multiple times over the last 10 years and like stood me up and forgot about me and then would buy me coffee at Dunkin' Donuts because you thought that would fix. Like, come on, have some freaking boundaries. Like, this idiot was just speeding down the lane next to me into a turning lane and then had to slam their brakes on because the light turned red, and that just made my freaking day because I'm a bitch. Busted out my 300 calories on the bike. I just did my 300 calories on my spin bike. I'm gonna go get my kid from school. We're gonna run to Tractor Supply. I have to make meatloaf, take a shower, miscellaneous things. Waiting for my child to come out of school, and then we're gonna go to Tractor Supply. I look like a hot you guys must think that I never shower and that I just don't own a mirror. Hi guys, I just recorded that whole thing without turning on the camera. I am wrapping this one up. I'm gonna chill out and watch some YouTube while my husband's in his class. And anyways, I had a meltdown because he got a new job and he wanted like a Carhartt sweatshirt. And so I went to Tractor Supply and I got him what I thought he wanted and had it all folded all cute and put it out for him. And then he got home and he was like, no, I didn't want one that was lined. I'm going to be too hot. And it was my mistake. Like, I didn't clarify like what he wanted. I had a meltdown. We had meatloaf for dinner and we just put the chickens in the crates again because it's gonna be -5 with a wind chill of -30. My kiln is done, so my plan for tomorrow is to make a wood wick candle for you guys with some sage and some crystals and some sea salt, and I'm going to be doing some glazing of pottery, so I might just chit chat with you guys while I am glazing pottery. But thanks for watching this nonsense and putting up with my crap. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.